Hello friends, today we are going to continue chapter number 1, the rights of British rule in India, lecture number 11. Friends, we already discussed in the previous lecture about how the British arrived in India, what were their intention. When they arrived in India, they were here with the only purpose of trading. But after Battle of Plassey, we learned that after Battle of Plassey, due to the result of that, as the East India Company won that battle, they got the control over 24 Parganas, and the foundation of this company's rule started in India. Friends, after that we discussed that Battle of Buxar happened. After that Battle of Buxar also, they got the power to collect revenue over Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. That was known as Dvimukhi Sasan or dual power policy. Friends, in the previous lecture, we discussed about subsidiary alliance system. We also discussed about the regulating act that was implemented in 1773. After which the post of Governor General was implemented, and after that the administration was brought under the totally control over this post of Governor General. Friends, we looked that one by one how the different Governor General came and they assumed their post and they gave the contribution in expanding this company's rule in India and establishing their colonies in India. Friends, we discussed about the contribution of Wellesley in the previous lecture. That was, he introduced subsidiary alliance system in which he brought the policy of making the princely states joining with the company willingly. Here in that subsidiary alliance system, we learn that he had certain conditions, like the 5 conditions were there. The company would provide the king the trained army for the security purpose of that king. In return, the king had to bear all the expenses. Another condition was that if king had to declare war on any other state, they need to take the permission. Then, if they need to try any treaty of friendship, they need to consult the companies. One British representative should be appointed in the king's court, and no other representative other than the British should be appointed in the king's court. So there were certain conditions for the kings who joined this subsidiary alliance system. Friends, this was the condition through which Wellesley willingly joined some of the states that proved to be sweet poison for the kings. After that we discussed about annexation policy. In annexation policy that was introduced by Dalhousie. It was said that Dalhousie was a staunch imperialist. He was also a reformist. We learn how he introduced this annexation policy. He annexed many states with the pretext of war, with the pretext of mismanagement, with the pretext of the state without hire, with the pretext of debt. So, due to certain pretext, Dalhousie annexed many states, which led the totally company's rule into India. While we were discussing about the annexation policy, we also learned that Dalhousie was a very well-known reformist. He brought many reforms in India. So friends, today the topic that we are going to cover, that is Dalhousie and his reforms. Friends, the first topic that we are going to cover today, that is Dalhousie and his reforms that he brought. Friends, here as we discussed in the previous part, that Dalhousie was a staunch imperialist. He was dedicated towards expanding the company's rule in India. He tried his best to expand the company's rule in India. For that, he snatched away many states forcefully. Friends, now we are going to discuss the other side of Dalhousie. As we say that he was also a reformist. He brought many changes in the administrative system of India. Here it is said, first reform that he made was that in 1853 he started railroad in India. Between Mumbai and Thane. Friends, here it is said that here in 1853 he introduced the first railway line in India between Mumbai and Thane. He started first railroad, or we can say first railway line in India between Mumbai and Thane. So this was the first reform that he started. Obviously, if we look according to the history, then this reform was made by Dalhousie for the sake of the beneficial of the British people, so that the soldier of the British East India Company would easily communicate with each other. They can easily move from one place to another. Here it is said, due to this introduction of this railway line in India, now the British were easily able to migrate from one place to another. So again, this reform was made for the benefit of the British people, for the British East India Company. But this benefited India also a lot. Here it is said, though it was made for the benefit of the British, but this proved to a very important introduction to the Indian history. Friends, then here it is said that Dalhousie also started, Dalhousie, who was a reformist, he also started, here it is said wireless, Dalhousie also started wireless communication between England and India. Friends, another reform that he made, that was in the field of communication. As again it is said that these all reforms that he made was the benefit for the British, so that they can communicate with each other easily. The introduction of the railway line was easy for the British to migrate from one place to another. For moving the company's army from one place to another, this railway line played a very important role. But this benefited India as well. Again, he also brought the wireless communication system in India for the first time, and he started this wireless communication between England and India. So this was another a very important reform that he brought. He also established Public Work Department. we can say PWD. Friends, he also established this public work department that was benefited for the public work, that was for the benefit of the public work, right? So he also established public work department in which all the public work were taken into care. So another very important reform brought by Dalhousie. He also established English education in India. Sorry. Here it is said, he also established English education in India. Friends, another important reform, as we all know, that in the present time, English is considered as an international language. So, in the past, many people did not favor this English education. But at that time, during the rule of this British, during the company's rule, Dalhousie, he established this English education in India. He started this English education in India so that lots of Indians were able to learn English and they were able to understand and they were able to merge with the world by learning English. So again, very important step that about introducing this English language in India. He passed laws against the sati system. Friends, we all are aware that what was sati system, right? Here it is said there were some of the very sad things from our culture, we can say, very black-sided face, we can say, of our Indian culture. In the past, in our culture, people followed this culture of sati system, in which the woman used when a woman's husband died, that woman would again burn with his husband in the funeral pyre of his husband. So that was the sati system, in which the woman has to sit on the funeral pyre of his husband. So this sati system was again that was banned with the laws passed by Dalhousie. So Dalhousie passed this law with the help of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. You might have heard about the Raja Ram Mohan Roy in your previous standard, right? Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a reformist who brought laws and who was very much active in the field of bringing law against this sati system, right? So, with the help of Dalhousie and Raja Ram Mohan Roy, these laws were passed against this sati system. So again, in Indian culture, the reform was brought that he made certain laws to ban this sati system. Then he also passed laws and favored widow remarriages. Friends, another important reform that was he favored and passed certain law for widow remarriage. Friends, it is said that in the past, in Indian culture, in the Indian culture, the condition of the widow was very bad. They were treated very badly in our culture. They had to live alone. They had to eat alone. Their life was very miserable. They were not allowed to mingle with other people. So at that time the condition of widow were very miserable at that time. So friends, again Dalhousie brought a very important reform, passing the rule for the widows to remarry. So the rule related to widow remarriage was also brought by Dalhousie. So friends, these were some of the rules that were these were some of the reforms that were brought by Dalhousie, right? For these after he became the Governor General, these are the certain reforms. First, in 1853, he started the first railway line in India between Mumbai and Thane. Second, he also started wireless communication system between India and England. Then he also established Public Work Department, that is PWD. He also established English education in India. He passed certain laws to ban this sati system in India. And last reform and very important reform, he also passed the laws and favored widow remarriage. So friends, these were certain reforms that were brought by Dalhousie. So now, after understanding the reforms that were made by Dalhousie, now we will move on to another topic, that is Dvimukhi Sasan. Dvimukhi Sasan. Friends, for this Dvimukhi Sasan, if we say that for Dvimukhi Sasan, as we discussed, friends, that in the previous lecture we discussed about Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. We discussed in that, when we were discussing about Battle of Plassey, then they got control over 24 Parganas after winning this Battle of Plassey, and we discussed that after winning Battle of Buxar, they got this power to control Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. They got the right to collect revenue, and that was known as Dvimukhi Sasan. So friends, let us understand what was this Dvimukhi Sasan. Dvimukhi Sasan, here friends, after, as we discussed, that after winning the Battle of Buxar, as we all are aware, that Battle of Buxar was fought between the combined force of Mir Kazim, Nawab of Awadh and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam with the company's army. But again the result was the same like Battle of Plassey. The company's army won and they got the power of Dvimukhi Sasan. Friends, what was this Dvimukhi Sasan? Let us understand that what was Dvi. Here it is said that after winning the Battle of Buxar, company got the power of Dvimukhi Sasan, or we can say dual power policy. Dual power policy. Friends, here it is said, after winning the Battle of Buxar, company got the power of Dvimukhi Sasan or dual power policy. That is, here it is said, they got the official right to collect can say tax from Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Friends, here it is said they got the power to collect the revenue from Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. And here it is said, what is Dvimukhi? Dvimukhi means Dvi, that means two. Mukhi means head. Two head means the rule was done by two. Here it is said, Dvimukhi means the rule of two heads. There were two heads, two heads, or we can say rulers in a particular region. Friends, here it is said there were two heads. There were two heads, or we can say two rulers in a particular region. Right? How two rulers were there? Here it is said the power of administration in a region was given to the Nawab, or we can say the king, whereas the power of collecting revenue was with the British, or we can say the company. So, friends, here it is said the power of administration in the region was given to the Nawab, means one head, one ruler was the Nawab who would take care of the administration of the people, and second head was the power of collecting revenue. Second head was the company, British East India Company, who had the power of collecting revenue from Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, which were considered as the largest province in India at that time. Here, what happened? It said that what was the really the thinking, what was the motive? Here it is said that here British got the power without any responsibility here it is said, here British got the power without responsibility, while the Nawab got the responsibilities without power. Friends, here it is said, here British got the power without any responsibility, whereas while the Nawab got the responsibility without power. You can clearly see, friends, that the British got the power without any responsibility, while the Nawab got the responsibility without power. Friends, here you can see Dvimukhi Shasan means the rule with the two heads. Here the two rulers were present in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Here the Nawab used to administer the people, who took the responsibility of the people, who took care about each and every problems of the people. Whereas the company used to collect money, used to collect tax revenue from the people. That means the people had to follow and obey the commands of two rulers, and that is why this policy, this was known as Dvimukhi Sasan. Sasan means rule, Dvi means two, Mukhi means two-head rule, right? Dual, here it is said that dual power policy. Dual means two, power means power of two ruler. That policy was implemented after winning this battle of Buxar. Thank you.